While my mom is still there, we find the apartment, we move in, everything's smooth. Then she leaves, and I'm alone. Like, and it just hit me as soon as I drop her off at the airport. Like, oh my God, like, I'm by myself. I don't know anyone in this city. I don't know anyone in this state. I'm just like here. But I did have a plan. So it's great. Like pray, plan, execute is perfect sponsorship because I really did have a plan. And the plan was
Say how's the fam?
Advertise.
Welcome back to How's the Fam, your podcast about family, friends, and growth. And today I'm joined by my family, my blood, my cousin, somebody who's known me my entire life. It's very rare that you meet people who've known you your entire life. My cousin, Ashley Hudson. Ashley, welcome to the show.
thank you. And Tyler, you cannot forget the Victoria. It is Ashley Victoria Hudson at all times.
If you say my name, you get it right. Yo, man, Ashley, thank you for joining the show, man. Thank you so much. And today's episode is going to be about Ashley's phenomenal journey about accomplishing her college dream. And then something very spectacular happens right after that. Okay. I'm not going to ruin it for the people. Okay. But before we get into that, we have a segment called Just Checking In. And Just Checking In is exactly what it sounds like. It's me checking in with the family, just letting y'all know how my day is going. Okay. So, Ashley, I will start first and then I will let you share a story. Cool?
That works.
All right. So, my Just Checking In story is I was at church, and I've been at church all week this week. So, because we're gearing up for a musical, this, that, and the other. Your boy in there singing in the choir. All right, hark the herald angels sing, and the herald angels are, all right. But we in there singing, right? And I understand when people sing for an extended amount of time, there is an expectation that people are gonna cough at some point. All right, but I also need them to recognize that when you cough, don't expect me to stick around in the general vicinity of where you operate. Because that gangster's still out here, and I'll be dead gum if it's going to get me. All right?
I'm okay. So since COVID, I have not been to church. I have not been to work. I only go to the grocery store and stuff. So it's just crazy to even hear that you're singing in the choir with
Yeah.
people on the left
Yep.
and the right.
And in the front, and in one in the, yeah. Surround, welcome to Texas, you know?
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I was just about to say. This is why. This is why I am where I am because I can't do it. I'm still
Yeah.
nervous of that guy that's out there getting people.
Yeah, man. And you know what's funny? I was talking to our pastor about that because he keeps saying like, "Yo, I need you to open up the youth event." And I was like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not fully comfortable exposing like getting the youth in front like that, but I'm like trying to work my way through it because all this other stuff. I'm trying to work my way through it, but I ain't fully there yet." And that has been my just checking in story. Now, Ashley, we just checking in. What you got for the people?
Oh man, my just checking in. I have literally been, I don't know if you've heard about the stories that's happening. Everything in California is going crazy. People are breaking into homes, they're
Oh
breaking
wow.
into stores. Yeah, it's been insane. So my just checking in is that I am currently installing every security feature I can around the house. I am making sure I literally watch my garage door go down. My just checking in is being safe. I'm just out here trying to just make it to another day because LA is crazy, crazy right now. So y'all
That
be
is
safe out.
that is My cousin is an LA person, bro. My cousin living that LA lifestyle. You feel me? I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. All right, now, yeah, now actually, I ain't gonna even ask about the other security stuff because of security. All right, the less you know
Exactly.
about my
Don't let them know
security,
what I got.
the better my security is. All right, and y'all, that has been just checking in. Okay, now we do have one sponsor for today's video, and that sponsor is Pray, Plan, Execute. Okay, Pray, Plan, Execute is an athleisure, faith-based brand. Okay, and it's designed for people actually like me and you, right? People who understand that in order to find your purpose, you got to pray, man. And not only do you have to pray, you have to actually plan out what your next steps are and go out there and do it. Okay. And only through doing that can you find genuine fulfillment. All right. Now, Pray Plan Execute is they helped out the family, man. Like they gave us a little code. So if you go to pray, plan, execute shop, again, that is pray, plan, execute shop, then you can pick up a shirt similar to mine or similar to the ones you've seen in the other videos. And you can use code FAM at checkout. That is code FAM, FAM at checkout. All right. And you can get that family discount. All right. And trust me, I got you. All right. Now, you guys need to hurry up because from what I understand, I've been doing it. I don't know which day this episode is going to fall on, but we're recording it via day 10. And we 10 days in, and inventory has gotten low. So if you like something, you need to hurry up and go to pray, plan, execute shop and use code FAM, FAM at checkout before they all out of whatever you want in the size that you want it. Remember, pray, plan, execute is more than a brand, it's a lifestyle. All right. Now, Ashley, I'm just gonna hit the heavy hitter question straight from the jump, like all the way from the top. You had a dream, right? You had a dream and you were like, yo, when I grow up, I'm going to be a lawyer. Okay. Not only did you have that dream, you put in the work to accomplish that dream, and then something happened. I want you to walk us through number one, your discovery of where you wanting to be a lawyer, then your journey of actually making that happen and all the twists and turns that come into that. And then I will lead you into the next one.
All right, let's do it. I'll give context first. So, I am from a very, very small town called Monticello, Mississippi. The population is about 1,000 people. So you could just put that into context of like, this is a town where everyone knows everyone. So as a child, like my mom would be consistent and tell you a story of when she told me to clean up one time. I responded to her, man, when I grow up, I'm gonna have a maid, so I don't gotta clean up nothing. I don't gotta do this type of stuff. So that from a young child was like the mind frame that I had that I didn't even know what it meant truly and fully, but that's where I was at mentally as a child. So growing up, my dad was very, very like instrumental in the confidence at which I have now, but the confidence I've had throughout my entire life. As a
Yeah.
kid, no matter what the situation was, his response was always, "It's all good. You're a Hudson." So that gave me a sense of like
Ah,
not only pride in my name, but it gave me a sense of comfort of like, you can do and overcome anything that you want to. So yeah, as a kid, I was like, I want to help people. And I felt like that path was to be an attorney. So go to college, went to law school, took the bar. Well, actually, I'll back up. I went to
yeah.
college, went to law school. In law school, I was very consistent. I was going to be a corporate attorney. I interned with a federal judge in Memphis, Tennessee. That is the path that I was going to take. I was going to do a clerkship. I was going to get a job, all the things. My very last semester of law school, I took an entertainment course. Didn't know anything about entertainment. Mississippi doesn't even have anything
Nah,
entertainment
they did.
related. Like I don't even know if we shoot movies in Mississippi. Like it's such a place that like the exposure isn't there. But I took this class and the class was called How to Do a Film Deal, and it really changed my perspective on not only just entertainment but on life because I've always loved music. I played in a band in high school. I've always loved TV. I was always the kid like just like growing up watching anything and everything that I could, right? Like laying on
Mm-hmm.
the floor watching Degrassi and stuff. So, but then I took this class, and in the class, they made us actually shoot a short film. So we had to create the idea, we had to write a script, and we had to shoot the short film. And my mind was just, I don't know, it was like a bug that I caught. And I remember calling literally my mom that night after like the first week of class, and I was like, man, what if I moved to California and try to do some entertainment? And she was like, well, why not go to Georgia? And I was like, okay, that's true. Why not go to Georgia? Then I kept doing research and talking to people, and this one guy literally said to me, he said, if you can go to Georgia and you'll make it, but if you go to LA and make it, then no one will ever tell you anything about the decisions that you make in your life because you made it in a place where not many people make it.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that as a challenge, and I took it upon myself to be like, I can make it no matter where I go. I'm a Hudson. Like I'm like still living in the confidence that my father gave me. So I graduated from law school in May. I studied all summer for the California bar exam. moved to California. Literally, my mom and I lived in a hotel for 2 weeks when we first got to LA because I didn't have a place to stay. So I was like, I took the bar, got out of the bar at 5 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I'm out trying to see apartments and stuff. While my mom is still there, we find the apartment, we move in, everything's smooth. Then she leaves and I'm alone. Like, and it just hit me as soon as I dropped her off at the airport. Like, oh my God, like, I'm by myself. I don't know anyone in this city. I don't know anyone in this state. I'm just like here. But I did have a plan. So it's great. Like pray, plan, execute is perfect sponsorship because I really did have a plan. And the plan was get a job within 9 months. Don't matter what it is, just like find a job that's in entertainment after 9 months. And when I tell you I hit like 8 months and 7 days, and I got my first job at Lionsgate in the business affairs department. So I'm at Lionsgate. I'm working in the TV department. I really wanted to work in film. I didn't know much about TV, but part of the job was reading scripts and like we're reading them for clearances. So we're reading them for legal purposes. So you're making sure there are no copyright issues, etc. So I'm doing that and I'm like just learning like passively learning really what writing for television is. And so I'm doing that and it's fine. And then somehow, somewhere I decide like, oh, I think I'm gonna try to like just write something for fun. I never
Yeah.
even completed it. Like, and I'm not even joking. I never completed it. And I was like, whatever, it's fine. So then I moved from Lionsgate and I get a job at Sony. Now, this job at Sony was my dream job. When I took this job at
Mm.
Sony, I said, I'm never going to leave Sony and I'm going to be the CEO of this company. Like, those were the two things I said when I walked into
Ooh.
the doors of Sony on my first day. I was like, I'm never leaving. I'm going to be the CEO of this company. So I felt like I had finally like reached that place where I could grow. Like
Yeah.
it was like my first time really having a black boss. I had a black boss who was a man and he was amazing
Yeah.
to me. And he taught me
Mm.
so much. And like I was on the track. I was on the train. I was on the track.
Yeah.
I was going forward and it was amazing. And and now this is going to take you back a little bit. But in 2019, and you know this, January 1st, 2019, we as a family found out that Tori passed away, right?
Yeah.
So that wasn't the first like death that was close to me because when I was in law school, David passed away. Now both of these people
Yeah.
died in their 40s, right?
Yeah.
And so in that moment, I started to like sit and reflect and be like, is half of my life over? Like I really started to really question, is half of my life over? Because these people are in their 40s. I'm in my 20s. I'm like, at the time, like I'm like, wow, have I lived half of my life? And if I have, like what am I accomplishing? What am I doing? How am I impacting the way that I want to? And what I realized is like I am truly just like going through the motion and I'm living a life that I thought I want, but I'm not fully happy with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to like overcome all of these emotions, I wrote a feature, like a full feature, it was like 110 pages. And I just sat down and I just wrote it. It wasn't necessarily a conscious thing, but it was conscious in the sense that I needed to vent. So I wrote this feature and I just remember after writing the feature, I needed a new laptop because that's how much I had cried while I was writing. And it was
Mm.
like, wow, like that experience really was it was therapeutic for me in a way that I had never experienced. And I've been to therapy. So I was like, this was
Yeah.
actually better than me like talking to a professional. And I again, my mom is always my go-to. So I remember calling my mom and being like, this is what I did, this is what happened, like all the things. And she's like, send me the script. She's a reader. She reads 24 hours a day. That's her favorite pastime. She read the
Mm-hmm.
script in like 2 hours and she called me back and she was like, that was amazing. I'm so proud of you. Just like being a mom, right? She proud of everything I do. I walk downstairs and she clapped. You know what I'm saying? So it
Look at my
means
baby
it means
walking.
nothing. It means nothing that she's proud. Yeah, it means nothing that she's proud. I swear to God, it doesn't. But in that time frame of just like writing that script, I realized, truly realized that maybe this is something that I can do and I can pursue. But even on my free time, I wasn't even thinking about switching jobs. So I would get to Sony at 4 o'clock in the morning and I would just write and I would think of ideas. Then at 10 o'clock, I would go to my meetings and I would start work and whatever. So I did that for a couple months. And then I read a book, and the book, it was one of those inspirational books, and the book pretty much said that if you can find one token of satisfaction in a moment in life, then you should ride that token for as long as you can. But what I
Hmm.
realized was that writing that script was my token of satisfaction in that moment in life. So I began to be very intentional with my writing. I ordered every book on Amazon, and I was just like researching articles, reading, and I wrote an insecure spec. So a spec script is a script that's an original idea, but it's based on an already existing format. So Insecure is a
Hmm.
TV show. I wrote a spec for that TV show. Courtney Kemp, who's the creator of Power, read that
Hmm.
spec script, and she offered me a job. Now, mind you, the job started on Monday. She offered me the job on Wednesday. I'm an attorney. We give people 2 week notice. So I was like, I can't take this job. Like I can't do my first black boss like this. Like I'm like having these
Yeah.
anxieties. So I went to his office and I told him everything of what was happening. And he said to me, he said, when I was in my 20s, I was offered the opportunity to produce a TV show, and I didn't take it because at the time TV wasn't king. Films were king. So I went to law school, and here I am. And he says, but I often wonder what would have happened if I would have had the opportunity to be a producer of TV. And that
What a
was his
great
his
boss.
short way of saying, if you feel like this is, I know, right? I agree. Michael Marshall, he's a phenomenal man.
Man.
So it was his short way of saying, like, if you want to do this, we won't hold it against you. You should do it. So it was Wednesday. I went home. I literally like did not sleep. I just prayed. I wrote out a pro cons list. I did all the things because this was a step back. Not only was it a step back monetarily, it was a step back. I would have to humble myself. Like, she wasn't offering me a job as a writer. She was offering me a job as an assistant at the time. Because her
Mm.
thing is, you have to understand how to write TV, and the only way to know how to do it is to just be present while other people are doing the job. So she offered me the job as an assistant. It wasn't that much money. It was long hours. It was a lot of work, and it was like work for like an attorney. I'm like, I went to school. I got student loan debt. This ain't for me. Like, this is beneath me. Like, I'm not about to be handing out coffee. But I took the job. Long story
Yeah.
short, I took
Yeah.
I took the job, and that was for it. Literally spanned through like the latter half of season 6 of Power, and then the first season of Power Book 2 Ghost. So
Mm.
I did the job, and I did a I and I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it to myself, like, I did such a phenomenal job that Courtney took me with her to an HBO show, still in the assistant position. But when I was at that HBO show, she called me one day and she said, the next opportunity for a staff position to come available, that position is yours. I don't want anyone else to have it. I trusted her on her word because of the type of person that I had seen her to be. And she didn't lie to me.
Hmm.
So it's like the next open position that came, she was like, it's yours. Like, you are a professional writer. And so that's kind of where I am at now. And it's been an amazing journey personally, because like the first episode of TV that would ever air of mine will be the premiere episode of a season. And so that's not really something that many people get until they create their own episode. That's one.
Yeah.
But I think two, just the ability to transition from something that I do feel like I planned for my entire life. I planned to be an attorney my entire life. I went to school, I made good grades, I didn't get into trouble. I did all the necessary steps. And then it's like, now when I tell people that I'm a TV writer, it's always like, whoa, that's insane. I too think it's insane because, as I said at the top, there is nothing in the state of Mississippi that leads you to be a TV writer, that leads you to do anything in entertainment. As a child, I did not even know how TV was made. I didn't know there was a such job as a TV writer. So to sit here and say, hey, I work on the show, like, I can show you scenes that I have contributed to, that I have written, and I can like show you my scripts. Like, it is a phenomenal place and a blessed place that I feel like I am currently in.
Man. And
So
I'm
that's my
proud of you.
long story. It was long.
Just to let the people know, like, I just had a lagging situation, so I'm gonna fix it all in post. But what an incredible story! All right. like even a little like reserved. I was like, yo, my cousin really like she really did this. And like through you doing that, it actually has empowered me to do this. Cause I was like, look, if she can accomplish X, it took you like what 2 years? You say 3 years?
Yeah, it took me 2 years. So it was May 2019 that I quit my job at Sony, and then May 2021 was when like I got the official contract for being staffed. So it's a two
Yeah,
year process to fully transition from being a lawyer to a paid writer.
yeah. And I was just like, if she could do that, like think, just imagine where other people would be if they just dared to dream. Okay, so now I do have questions. All right, so you essentially what I'm seeing a theme of in your life, or especially in your story, is mentorship. Because you had a mentor who told you, like, why go to Georgia when if you can make it in Cali, you can make it anywhere, right? And then you had a mentor who's like, it's like, why stay at Sony? I had a similar opportunity. It's like, this is how I looked at it, but I often wonder. And these are very good guiding principles of a mentor. So my question is, how have you found these types of mentors in your life?
I don't. It's a hard question because I don't think that you find a mentor. I think mentors find you, and I think
Mm-hmm.
mentors find you by you being a very specific type of person. So I never go into a day of work with a frown or not speaking to everyone I pass by and not putting in my best foot for. Even when I hated probably being an attorney, I was still doing my best to produce a high quality of work. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that people, especially bosses, one, they respect a good attitude because so many people are irritated at work. So they respect a good attitude, but they also just respect the person who's willing to work hard and put in effort. And I
Yeah.
do feel like that's something that when we're in a bad mood, we take that with us everywhere we go. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if we can learn to keep and leave our bad moods in a certain space, then we do ourselves justice.
Yeah.
And so that's like the best. But and I also too feel like you have to like, and I hate to say it this way, but it is true. But you have to find people who do things of which you respect, but you also have to find things within those people that you can relate to. And I
Mm.
think that requires you to get to know the person and then make a conscious decision to keep in contact with them and then make a conscious decision to like show them who you are and what you contribute to them as much as what they can contribute to you. So
Yeah.
I feel like if we could like find ways to get into those spaces, a lot more people will pour into us the way that we pour into others.
Whew. That's great. That's really good. So you talked about, hey, so when you show up to work, you gotta be ready to work. But when you off, you can do what you want. But when you're at work, you got to be at work. So what puts you in the mindset, or what puts you in the mindset to actually go in there, be disciplined, and go in there and do the best, essentially the highest quality work that you can?
I think it is a lot of self-motivation, but I also
Okay.
think it is a lot of understanding the end goal. I think sometimes, especially when I feel like when I am at my worst, is when I'm focusing on what my present issue is instead of
Hmm.
my long-term goal. So it's like if I look at my current job or my current whatever I have to do and it's like overwhelming, then I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna get this done? If I look at my long-term goal, then I'm like, this is just a short little stop on the path to something greater that I personally want. And
Hmm.
so it's like it's always having what the long term goal is present in your mind and
Yeah.
being able to overcome a current moment in order to get to that long term goal. Because if I let the current moment overcome me, I'll never get to my long term goal.
Right.
And
That's good.
so that's always waking up and being like, what's my to do list today? How can I accomplish these things? Tackling everything I can and then moving forward. And also, we live in a world where you will get your job quicker by recommendation than you will by applying online. So
Yeah.
therefore, why do I walk into work with a smile? It's because I like these people and I want these people to like me,
Hmm.
right? So I'm coming in and I'm like, hey, how you doing? How's your kid doing? How's your father doing? Whatever. Like you're just talking to them, you're being a human being with them, but at the same time, you understand that like everyone is headed somewhere. You you want them to remember you as at a minimum a delightful person to work with.
Mm. Bare minimum. And so, man, what an awesome story. Like, essentially, you got to follow your dream times already. Okay, and one of the motivating factors that you said for you following your dream or you daring to actually do it was the death of our friend David, or our cousin David, and my brother Tori. So, what advice? That was like the motivating factor, right? So, what advice do you have for other people who are like, "Yo, man, I want to follow my dream. Like, I dare to dream as well." What advice do you have for those people?
I would honestly say don't live in a comfortable space. Don't live in a space like comfort is the death of everything that is good. When you're in a space
Mm,
where you're so comfortable and everything comes to you very easily, then you are not pushing your mind, your body, your soul to another level. It's like going to the gym. If you do 50 push-ups a day, at some point 50 push-ups are nothing. You have to increase to 60. You have to increase to 70. That's how you're pushing your muscles to get bigger. That's how you're making yourself stronger. I
okay.
look at life the same way. I cannot sit and do the exact same thing every single day because at that point it becomes second nature. When it becomes second nature, I'm not growing anymore. So I would say get out of that comfortable space. Take a risk. Like always. I know people say with risk there's reward, and there's an opposite to that. With risk also could be failure. But if you don't necessarily, you can take into account a failure, but don't take into account that failure is your only option because
Mm,
success is also an option. So it's like it's being able to really sit down and manifest what you want in the sense of like hard work. So there is it's a Drake line that I always think about. He says, I'm gonna pray for it and then I'm gonna work as if prayer doesn't exist. If
mm,
you could pray for it and then work as if prayer doesn't exist, I really think that that is the manifestation of everything that you want,
mm.
right? Because when you pray, you're having faith. But then when you're working, you're having faith that your prayer will work, but also that your work will work. That means you're doing two things to accomplish one goal. That's what we should always be doing. Multiple things to accomplish multiple goals or one goal. But also, I think, and this is the most important thing that I can say to anybody at any time, and it does fall back on like advice and opinions of others. Everybody gives advice and opinions based on it's very subjective. It's based
Yeah,
upon their life, their fears, their experiences. If you can learn, if you can figure out what advice to take and what advice to leave aside, that is the pinnacle of understanding how to get to the next step. Because um if someone tells you to make a decision and you make that decision strictly based on what they say, if it goes wrong, you can't blame them. It's your life. You can only blame yourself for taking bad advice. And I
yeah,
think we get caught up as humans in saying, "Oh, like I'm gonna take this person's advice," and then we blame that person when it doesn't go wrong. Take full accountability for yourself by being able to differentiate between what's good and what's bad when you're seeking out other people. And don't live by other people's comfort. If it was up to my family, I would be in Mississippi right now working as an attorney in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, right?
yep. For our cousin.
Like, yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. I will be a part of like, Percy Watson and Associates right now, right? Like that is the path. And so you have to realize like, and this is not like my brother literally told me, he said, when you told me you was going to California, I said, okay. And I had no clue that you were actually going to do it. And so it's like that is his limitation being put on me. So what if I would have taken that from him at the time I was making that decision? Well, maybe I wouldn't have made the decision. So you always have to like kind of get into a space where you have a goal and you're able to differentiate between good bad advice, but also just do stuff sometimes. Sometimes we don't need to live in that comfort because we have prayed. And so
Yeah.
it's just willing to be able to take that risk and not be afraid of the backlash or like I failed so many times. I got rejected from so many law schools. Like it's just like
Yeah.
failure is rejection and failure are things of which we breathe every single day. And you know what I do? I throw them out. Some people keep their rejection letters. I don't need that negativity in my life. I just throw it all out.
That's what I be saying too, man. It's like, look, man, I failed that test. I don't need to keep this. Just delete that and pass on.
Yeah. Somebody tell me no, out. Like, it's It's amnesia. It's like an athlete. You take a shot, you miss it, amnesia. You keep shooting. Always keep shooting.
There you go. Hey, y'all. Ashley, I think I'm gonna stop it right there because that was just so good. That was so good. I might have you back on for a part two, man. I think I'm gonna have you back on for a part two, only because there's more to you than just this story. There's so much more. So I think I'm gonna have you back on for a part two. But is there anything that you feel like you left on the table before we move to words of encouragement?
Ooh, what have I left on the table? What I think coming from a small town, and even both of us coming from Mississippi, and you're now in
Mm,
Texas, I'm in California. I do just like for middle America, for small town America, it's like if there is anything bigger of which you dream of, take that dream into consideration. Because my thing is the Lord did not put a thought into your mind for you to disregard that thought.
hmm
So, and also I would say another thing, dreams and goals are destinations. So let's treat them as such. Treat them as destinations.
There we
And that's
go.
that's that's what I left on the table.
There we go. All right, man. We like to end every episode with words of encouragement. Okay, Ashley, words of encouragement is exactly what it sounds like. It is us pouring into the people, right? It's us just trying to give the literal best advice that we have. Okay, so I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna do a little cleaning up, and then I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna let you go. Cool?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So, yeah, if you made it this far into the podcast, that means you are among an elite group of people. So, first and foremost, I got to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for just sitting back and literally taking in all of this positive like information, man. And I hope and pray that you are better because of it. All right. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is I'm going to ask you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also, if you're listening via a podcast platform, go ahead and follow that podcast platform. 'Cause I want you guys to stay up on this positivity and stay up on these different topics that we're talking about. Okay, if you're on the YouTube version, also make sure you comment below the most valuable piece of information that you heard in this episode. Okay, also ask us what you want to hear next time Ashley comes on the show. Okay, ask the question and I will invite her back on to give a direct answer. All right. And if you're on the podcast version, you guys please leave a 5-star review, just letting us know how much you appreciate the podcast and what episode really stood out to you. If it's this one, let us know like what about it was so valuable. Okay. And make sure you guys check out PrayPlanExecute.shop. Again, that is PrayPlanExecute.shop and use code FAM, FAM, at checkout. Again, you guys need to hurry up because like I think he's down to extra larges and extra smalls on certain on certain shirts, okay? And you guys need to hurry up if you want the size that you want. And my genuine words of encouragement, Ashley, you kind of stepped on the toes of my words of encouragement a little bit, but is you got to fail forward, okay? You guys got to fail forward because failure is a prerequisite to all success. Anything that is worth having in life is worth going through multiple failures for, okay? Your purpose is probably behind the door of some failure that you haven't gotten to. But the problem is that door is hidden behind many other doors of failure. So first you got to get in the house. We ain't going to walk down all that. Regardless of how that operates, I need you to not be afraid of walking through failure. And like, don't be embarrassed. Don't be, because every successful person you've ever seen, every success story, every journey, every blueprint has failure already written in there. Okay. So fail forward and fail fast. Ashley, what are the words of encouragement you got for the people?
It's for me. It's very simple. It is every single day is a new opportunity to do something great. So a lot of times we say, oh, we wanted to do X on Tuesday, we didn't get to it. Oh well. No, no, no. Try again on Wednesday. Never
Mm,
give up. Always keep going. Always keep trying. And at the same time, as you said it so many times today, but it is about that plan. Make a plan, stick to that plan, write out your to-do list at night, wake up in the morning, read it 3 times, dedicate yourself to it every single day. If you don't accomplish something, don't beat yourself up, try again tomorrow. So it's always every single day is an opportunity to accomplish something great.
that's incredible. And you guys heard it here on House the Fam. Ashley, thank you, man. Thank you for coming through, sharing that incredible, like this incredible, almost unbelievable story, man. If I didn't know you, I might not believe it was true, but every word she said is 100% factual. You guys, fam's all good. Y'all be blessed.